The Waffle House has found its new host. Well, what could this mean? Is it just something that some stupid kids have come up with? Is this some strange YouTube gimmick? Or maybe, just maybe, it's something greater? On January 13th, 2023, the YouTube channel Johnny Razor Shorts would upload a video. There's something off about this video. Even the first 3 seconds are already off to an extremely rocky start.
Bad psyop idea.
In the first seconds of the video, we already have too much information to unpack. First of all, bad psyop idea. A psyop, or psychological operation, is a method used by the US Army to heavily influence people's own opinions towards the United States ideas and objectives. While Johnny Razor does clarify that his psyop idea is a bad idea, this is actually completely false, and just tries to dismiss the fact that he has plans to carry out psychological operations in the first place. This isn't Johnny Razor's first time he would call something a bad idea. They're practically over all of his shorts.
Bad game idea. Bad sport idea. Bad movie idea. Bad movie idea. Bad show idea. It's a
But why does he call his ideas bad ideas when the public always deems them to be amazing ideas? Maybe he's trying to make us feel guilty. Maybe Johnny is trying to give us the idea that he thinks all his ideas are bad, and that's all they'll ever be, before delivering ideas that could actually have amazing uses. In fact, his About page can prove everything I've just said. Bad ideas in quotes. Maybe this contrast between what he calls bad and what his ideas really are is what attracts his audience in the first place. Maybe that's why he has millions of views and 500,000 subscribers. Maybe people are more inclined to listen and follow his ideas because they feel his guilt that he tries to give us. And this is actually really scary, because now with this widespread attention he's receiving, he's giving us psyop ideas. Not only that, a picture of the word propaganda appears behind him as he says those 3 words, bad psyop idea. You know, the biased use of media that has helped countries push their ideas to millions of people in the past. But anyway, what psyop ideas is he spreading? And where is he spreading them? Let's continue the video.
We are going to gaslight the entire internet, and you're going to help me.
With this sentence, he reveals his intention, forcing every internet user into mental manipulation. Not only that, we are going to help him. Gaslighting is the process of mental manipulation which results in someone questioning their own sanity. If Johnny Razor and his army of almost 500,000, which can easily compare to the population of some major countries, carry out a mass gaslighting operation on a mass communication network, the results would be disastrous. Unfortunately, with the attention he has now, he is quite able to do this. But how, exactly, is his audience going to gaslight the internet? Let's continue the video.
So how are we going to do this? Well, it's really simple. All we have to do is for a period of time, write a singular comment on every video that we watch. The same comment.
My settings app on my phone tells me that, on my phone alone, I've spent about 2 hours watching YouTube in 24 hours. If we say that each YouTube video is, on average, 5 minutes long, that's about 24 videos. Now, if even a fraction of Johnny's army watches that much, let's say 3/5 of his subscribers, that's about 7.2 million videos. Considering how much of them might click on the trending and popular videos that get millions of views, the results of a gaslighting operation on the audience of these trendy videos would have catastrophic results. But what magic phrase is Johnny Razor going to use to gaslight literally millions? Actually, he doesn't say what it is. Until
The comment has to be something vague and mysterious that creates more questions than it does answers. But since you, the viewer, is going to be the person making this possible, I want you to come up with what that comment will be.
it's a blank slate for his audience to fill. Whatever they want is going to be what virtually all of YouTube will hear in their nightmares, after experiencing deep mental manipulation with just one sentence that's chosen.
So tell me what you think it should be in the comments. So on January 31st, I will brief you on what comment has been chosen, and we will begin our operation.
Well, that's it, right? That date hasn't come yet, so we don't have to worry about his bad psyop idea. But then, just one day later, on January 14th, 2.5 weeks before that date, something happened.
I've created a monster, and it's all your fault.
Johnny's next YouTube video starts with an attempt of guilt again.
Yesterday, I came up with a funny prank idea where we'd all write the same comment in every video we see, and I left what it would be up to you guys.
Johnny tries to dismiss what was obviously a mass psyop operation as a funny prank. Johnny then goes on to tell us that the sentence was unanimously chosen. And guess what the sentence is?
The Waffle House has found its new host. And
The Waffle House is a 24-hour restaurant that has been in operation since 1955. The restaurant has decent reception, but there's something very interesting about this restaurant, and that's the Waffle House Index. The Waffle House's gimmick is that it always tries to be open, no exceptions. It actually has tools available to keep open in low or no power. The Waffle House Index has 3 levels. Green, the full menu, meaning that the restaurant has full food supply and power. Yellow, the limited menu, meaning the restaurant is running low on food and power. And red, meaning the Waffle House is closed. The index is actually used to gauge the severity of storms by FEMA, which is a division of the United States government. Except Johnny Razor has already said pretty much everything I just told you. In fact, as of now, the video of him explaining the Waffle House Index is his second most popular video. Did this have an influence on what the unanimous vote was? We'll look into this later. From the start of the first video he uploaded, where he announced the operation, there were already several comments talking about the Waffle House. In fact, there were multiple occasions on which the phrase was almost the Waffle House sends its regards. But it wasn't until the channel Gamma Nolan said the phrase that the phrase, "The Waffle House has found its host," was first introduced. But this comment was completely glossed over, despite it being the first mention of it on the video's comments. Gamma Nolan was never said to be the phrase's originator. That title went to a channel named Tempo. But why? What I'm going to say next will blow your mind. Gamma Nolan is actually Johnny himself. Now prepare yourself. Your mind will be blown. If you thought Johnny was bad earlier, he's about to seem worse now. Why do I think Gamma Nolan is Johnny? Well, let me start by saying that the Waffle House was mostly brought to attention by Johnny himself. His report on the Waffle House Index was the driving force behind its national attention. Johnny knew damn well that the Waffle House was a source of some great power, and that because of his video, just one Waffle House closing would start a national panic across the US. Johnny knew he had to use this in a way that would benefit himself, but he didn't know how. That is, until he realized that he could just coax his subscribers into benefiting himself. So what did he do? He asked everyone to make a phrase that would gaslight the entire internet, using something mysterious. And what's mysterious? The Waffle House Index. So as soon as the video was published, Johnny used the Gamma Nolan account, not wanting to bring ties to his own account, to rig the vote to the phrase he wanted. Waffle House has found its new host, to the top of the rankings by liking it with the Johnny Razor's Shorts account and forcing the algorithm to show it. Channel Tempo took note of this comment and, wanting internet points for a comment that looked like it was not well known, reposted it, claiming himself as the originator. Johnny Razor Swords probably liked this comment as well, to bump it high into the rankings. And it worked, because everyone was already obsessed with the mysterious Waffle House. I know what you're thinking. Why the phrase Waffle House has found its new host? Well, think about what the word host means. Executive, CEO, founder, owner, a key higher-up. When everyone started spamming every YouTube video they watched with Waffle House has found its new host, many people who were outside of Johnny's community were naturally confused. They looked it up to find clear evidence that Johnny was the originator. Based on context clues, it kind of makes it look like that. Johnny is the new host, the new higher-up of Waffle House. What with a bunch of people inside of his community plastering this phrase that was closely tied to him and Waffle House being together somehow. But why would Johnny want to be the owner of Waffle House? Do I even need to say it? Johnny wanted to coax the internet into making him the owner of Waffle House, so he could close down all the Waffle Houses and cause widespread panic across the nation, eventually making everyone bow down to Waffle House and eventually him. And that's why Johnny started the gimmick, and that's why Johnny started the Gamma Nolan account, and that's why Johnny chose a unanimous vote only one day later after the sign-up announcement. Can't you see? Are you blind? Johnny is trying to become the United States, and eventually the world's supreme leader. Holy shit.